So for the construction of the pages, I'm going to do it on an A4 size. It is just an A4 sheet. You can use 12 by 12 and cut it down if you want to. I've used the Prima Rosarian pack of papers, and I've got quite a few of these packs. They're really good value, but the only thing is they're single-sided, but they are nice and thick, the single-sided papers. You will need a pattern, something like this, that isn't directional. It won't matter which way round you fold it, it won't look odd. Of course, that most of the papers in this book will actually be okay. See, that would be fine because it wouldn't matter which way round it went, but you will have to watch. Of course, you couldn't use those, but any of those, that would, most of them will pass in this book, but you'll have to watch that you can put it any way round. So we'll do that, and let's start off. So we want the first score line to be a 1/2 inch. That's going to be our binding. Then we'll go at 6 1/2. Then you can flip round, so what's on your left hand side can flip up to the top, and we want a score line at 4 1/8 all the way down. Now the piece that's at the top, take that round to the right hand side and put that back up, and then come across here at 1 3/4, but only down to that first score line, and that will give you what we need. When you finish the scoring, we can do the cutting. With a 1/2 inch binding strip on the left hand side, you need to cut on that 1/2 inch score line up to the first score line in the middle, so up to there, and then cut the next one to the score line in the middle, and then this one you just need to cut on that middle. That will give you the pocket in there. So from the end up to that 1 3/4 inch line that you made, so you'll have that. As regards to the folding, we need the 1/2 inch binding strip needs to be a mountain fold, so fold it that way. And then this middle piece needs to be a mountain, so we fold it that way. The one across this side needs to be a valley, so fold it this way. Make sure you get everything level when you're folding all your sides. Just adjust it when you're reinforcing the score lines. This one needs to be a mountain as well, so then you flip that one up. This becomes a pocket. This one comes down here, and then this folds over the top of that one. So that's how it will be. You can reinforce those folds now. So as I said, you need to just adjust those edges. I don't think I cut that all that straight, which is this will be your binding strip, so you can just fold that in half there and just reinforce that one. So what will happen, this will be a pocket here, so that will flip up, this one will flip out, and then that one will flip over that way, and then they'll close again like that, and you'll have the photo on the back as well. So we need to mat now. So our first mat goes on where the pocket is. That's 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. I've used a corner rounder, the shape. I'm afraid I don't know what make this is. It's got no make written on it, and I've had it for a long time, so I can't tell you where that came from, I'm afraid. And that pops in there. I've already inked my edges. Oh, I won't put that on very straight. I've inked the edges with the faded jeans and the black soot, and then we just want to stick down the 2 sides of the flap to make the pocket, and that goes in there like that. I've got a bit of ink on my fingers. Then the other mats you want 2 that are 5 7/8 by 3 7/8, and one that's 5 inches by 3 7/8. Something I forgot to tell you was that the best way, I think, probably to do the A4 sheet with the mats is to draw a line at 7 3/4 down from the top. So you've got 7 3/4 all the way across. Then you can go across your 5 7/8. So 5 7/8 across the top there and make a line down to that 7 3/4 mark. And then your 3 7/8 down to there and make a mark. So you'll be left with this on your paper. You'll get your other one out of here, the 5 by 3 7/8. So it's almost 3 7/8, just a tiny touch over. So you can get that out of there and then come across your 5. You'll have that strip left that you can use for the front pocket, and then you'll also have that piece left over. So if you do it like that, that's probably the best way to get your mats out of the page. So I'll show you the one I've already done. That's the one mat in there, then it flips up, and then it flips out and flips over. So when you're finished, there's some options I want to go through with you. If you're going to use it as an insert, cut off this binding strip. Cut it right away so that you're going to end up with this. You're going to stick it onto your album. If you want this to be a pocket at the back, you can glue it 3 sides at the back, and then you'll have the pocket in the top. So it'll be stuck down like that. You'll have a pocket to stick tag in there. Or you can stick the whole thing down the whole back and stick it onto another page of your album or the cover, wherever you want to put it. So if you're incorporating it into another album, that's what you want to do. If you're making it an independent page, there are 2 options. You can do it like I've done it here and asked you to cut that binding strip at 1/2 inch, wrap that round your binding, or stick it down and use binding rings or a zutter. But the way I've done it here, it will make it so that it's only one thickness of paper on the back. So when you're turning your page, it's quite weak there. So there's 2 things you can do. You can either, before you mat, put a piece of Tyvek. So lift that up before you put these mats on at the back here. Put a piece of Tyvek right across here. Sort of, you'll want it about 1 inch in diameter. If you want to cover that, you can just make it the width of each page and put a mat the whole page to cover that Tyvek up. So that will strengthen that binding up. So the other method for making this a page, you would just at your cutting stage not cut that 1/2 inch line. So don't cut there at all. Do the cuts the same on the other one, and then it will fold the same as it would normally, and that's your pocket. And that will go up and that will come out, but we can make this into a pocket. Use a circle punch, circle out there on that side. Now you could just stick the binding down, just put tape on that 1/2 inch and then stick it down, and glue across that bottom there to that first score line there. That will make that into a pocket, and you'll have your 2 thicknesses for your binding strip for your zutter or binding rings. You could also put a piece of Tyvek in there, as we did on the previous method, and put an inch piece of Tyvek across, so that's just strengthening this where your page is going back and forth. Up to you what you do and how you construct your album.